Hi everyone, and welcome to August 2019. This is Sky here to deliver a bit of a different kind of content for me, as I am in the phase of changing things up a little bit here on my YouTube channel. I want to first and foremost welcome you all to the energy and welcome you all to a new changing energy. I feel energetically that August is quite different than what we've been experiencing so far in 2019. We're really leading up to September, where we see a lot of the planets that are currently retrograde moving direct, and a really big shift. And August very much to me feels like a segue month. It feels like a transitional month, and it feels like the period of time where we understand what we did wrong, what we did right, we come to a conclusion, we get clear on what's going on, and we get the catalyst for what makes us make the big change in September. September is going to be a really big month when it comes to our life, our lifestyle, our health, and our plans for the future, what we're doing for the future. So September is all about a big change and about a big relocation for many people, whether that be energetically or physically. So August of 2019 is really coming in to inspire that and really segueing us, transitioning us into a space where we can make that possible, okay? And I'm sure you're all feeling it. I know I'm feeling it. It is like a rebranding for a lot of people, a transformation of the deep persona, a transformation of the psyche even, what we like, what we don't like. It's all changing, our aesthetic. Everything is on shift here. So yeah, right off the bat, this is a month where things have to be treated with respect, and we don't want to get too big for our britches this month. We don't want to get too ahead of ourselves or too confident in something that isn't real. We have to really walk through this time with it's not a passivity so much, but there is just a respect that is afforded your environment and the people around you during this time, because I feel it very easy to upset people. I feel people to be problematic if they're not treated with respect. So I'm not saying to obviously just kowtow to people or be respectful to people who are being horrible to you. I'm not saying that, but you do want to watch out for being haphazard. It feels there's a haphazard energy coming about here, because I do feel frustrations have built with all the retrogrades, having the 5 retrogrades. You can check the description box below if you want to see my video about this summer and the quintuple retrograde and what not to do during that. It's a great video, super fun, super funny. But yeah, people are frustrated and people are unsure, because everybody's going through that rebranding, everybody's going through that personal transformation, so it can make people a little bit prickly, I would say. And it's me too. I've also been having that personal rebranding. As you guys can probably tell, here on YouTube, I'm doing things just a little bit differently this month. I am not putting each individual sign on YouTube. They will be available on my Patreon page. So if you guys would like to check below in the description box, you can jump over to Patreon and see individual readings for each sign. But I'm changing the way that I do things on YouTube, because YouTube is changing. I've got to change along with it. I've been doing these readings for 3 years now in September, and I've been doing it in this format, with each sign month to month. And I plan to reintroduce that in a new way soon, but I'm currently reworking that formula. So yeah, if you guys want to see August 2019 for your sign, for Scorpio, Virgo, Aries, Gemini, whichever sign, click below in the description box and you can jump over to Patreon to find these messages specifically honed for your sign. Okay, so moving more into some of the intuitive messages for the collective for August, which I will then follow up with some astrology and tarot as well. The first thing that I've been feeling really strongly is that this can be a funner time than we give it credit for. If we can get out of our shell just a little bit, we can really open up to something that is quite enjoyable. We've come out of Cancer time now. We are moving into Leo and Virgo time, and that is about coming out of the shell, moving away from the solitude, being less of a hermit. We had that opportunity in June and July. We had the opportunity to, worry about things, be unsure, and then return home, return to the center, and deal with that. Now we can move out and enjoy ourselves just a little bit more. It's not a bad time for social experiences in August. A lot of us can be pulled to, again, be more of hermits, pull away from people, but it's not really the best thing right now. We can move more into that again later this year in October, November time, but we've had that opportunity here in 2019. Building up to especially Jupiter moving direct in Sagittarius, we want to come out of our shells just a little bit because this energy of like fiery Leo energy coming in, and then, having Jupiter going direct in Sag later on. I mean, Jupiter's already in Sag, retrograde. So when we get Moon in Aries, we're going to have fire trines going on. We have to get out of our shell a little bit, otherwise that energy becomes too potent and overpowering, and we can get temper, anger, frustration, arguments, confrontation, very Five of Wands energy going on if we don't get out of our shell a little bit, exercise, move. You got to be mobile now. Again, not a great time for stillness, not a great time for lying in bed all day, even if you have the whole day off. The body needs to move during this time, and it needs to be social too. There needs to be connection with other people. Because it feels to me also, we're coming through a Mercury retrograde. That is in effect until August 19th, and that's in Cancer. So again, that's pushed us in our shell. That's also shown us the detriment of being in the shell too much. And a lot of emotional trials, a lot of emotional obstacles, a lot of conflict, conflicting ideals with loved ones, family trauma re-examined, being able to communicate painful emotional difficulties of the past. That's everything that Mercury retrograde in Cancer dealt with. And moving through August, especially towards the end of the month, we want to really be done with that and be able to move into a more lighthearted, enjoyable, fun-loving, spontaneous, more Sagittarian concept and idea, okay? And we need to see that progression for ourselves. We need to, because here's the thing, with the Mercury retrograde in Cancer, with Pluto and Saturn and Neptune still retrograde as well, and Jupiter for most of August still retrograde, it's easy to go against ourselves. It's easy to get overwhelmed by the past, overwhelmed by the future, and stagnate. There's a pressure to stagnate. I just have to say, you have to really meet yourself halfway, pull yourself out of that, not let fear proliferate, not let fear and paranoia proliferate. Neptune is retrograde in Pisces. Fear and paranoia are easy during this time. We have to rise above that and find our own strength, because there's something just by coming out of that slightly, by the smallest push of the self to come out of that comfort zone, which was once representative of fear and paranoia. It is so enjoyable and such a release of turmoil, releasing turmoil. I love that for August. A lot of August is about releasing turmoil, because again, we're building up to a change in September, and we can't have a lot of weight holding us down for that change. So turmoil of the past, old relationship trauma that's being carried over to a new one in the past, or from the past. These things have to go. Another thing to remember for August too is that we are in post-eclipse time, which means that we are acquainting ourselves with a new way of being. Something most likely has left our lives and something new has re-entered our lives, and we can't be afraid of what that is. There can't be really these worst case scenarios that say, oh my gosh, I've lost something good, and now this horrible thing is going to enter into my life. Again, this is a Neptune retrograde thing where it's very easy to be quite frightened or paranoid of not knowing. We get into control there as well, where we might not know exactly what's coming into our lives, and because we don't know what it is, and we can't control when or how it enters, we get freaked out about it, and we get creative about how bad it could be. So we've got to see ourselves in that, and we've got to ask ourselves, why can't we have something better? Why are we expecting something so bad? Are we stuck in the past and using the past as a reference instead of a learning tool to work with what we can manifest, or how we can bring things in, or what we choose to allow into our lives? Really get into your power, really understand that you have the power to make decisions and the power to make choices that really affect the outcome of what enters into your life. And you're probably operating with a different type of energy than you were earlier this year coming into the year of 2019. So really start to acquaint yourself and get your sea legs. That could be a bit of what August is about as well, coming out of that Mercury retrograde in Cancer. Really orienting yourself with the new terrain that you're on. So that can be an enjoyable process as well. Try to not let yourself get too overtaken by fear or worry regarding that. Okay, and on that note, I want to go ahead and get into some of the tarot messages for this month. I'm going to shuffle the cards a bit here and pull out some significators for the energies coming in. Okay, so I'm just going to shuffle here, maybe give you guys a bit of ASMR with the sound of the cards being maneuvered. But yeah, I just want to see general energies for the month of August for the collective, for everyone listening. Energy that is helpful in understanding how to navigate this month in preparation for the changes that are coming in September. What energies are coming up? I'm just going to shuffle a bit more. Okay, and I'm going to cut the cards now. I'm going to pull 3. We have Ace of Cups. Beautiful. We have King of Swords. And we have 10 of Pentacles. How beautiful. What a nice upright combination of energies that really highlight the positivity and optimism and resource, like energetic resource that can come from a transitional time like August. I think that we all kind of tend to think of a transitional period of time as something that is related to trauma or something that is enjoyable from the lessons that the difficulty provide. And I think that we don't need to think about it from that perspective this time around. I really think that this experience of transition, of healing, because I always feel Ace of Cups and 10 of Pentacles together to be a healing, again, that is a merging of an early water and a late earth energy, which is very, very harmonious. Ace of Cups and 10 of Pentacles, great harmony between those two energies. And I think coming out of the Cancer season, having had the eclipses, having had the Mercury retrograde in Cancer and still having that in a lot of August, it's really inspiring to see Ace of Cups coming up anyway, because that says to me like emotional lessons. It says to me nice emotional experiences really handed to us from the universe. And also a mitigation as well. I'm feeling that the energy that could have been negative, or the fears, or the worrisome things that came up are really mitigated with that energy. But yeah, we do have to take it. With any of the ace energies, it always symbolizes something being given from the universe, in a hand up really being given, but we do have to choose to take it. We can move through life and see things offered to us, but they're nothing to us if we don't take it. So I really think that a big message in August is that we have to allow ourselves to take opportunities. We have to allow ourselves to take chances. Well, it's not a gamble. It's not a good time for gambling, that's for sure. But we have to choose to consume what is good for us, okay? Because I do think, with King of Swords coming in as well and 10 of Pentacles, both of those energies do have to do with discretion, and management of resources, management of choices. So I think that there might be a lot of options in August, a lot of choices, good and bad. As always, there is in life, but I think it's going to be more stark and apparent in August than usual, like good and bad choices. And I think that we do have to exercise a lot of discretion and true understanding about what is or isn't good for us to move forward. King of Swords, again, we can't just be on autopilot with King of Swords. Discretion, that is always the word that I think of with King of Swords. Logic, discretion, formula, understanding what in life creates what result, not just hoping infinitely and endlessly towards something that we know won't give us a certain result. So yes, King of Swords can also be an energy that requires us to cut something off, to exclude something from our lives, to draw a line, or to end something that is no longer working. And there's no like death or 10 of Swords energy, which are like really stark, painful endings. So I don't think that we're having anything like really taken from us, or really traumatic endings. Although some can definitely have that during this time of the year, end of July, early August is a time that prominently ends things which no longer need to happen. And then we kind of choose how much we want to make that difficult for ourselves, because usually this is a positive ending, despite it really taking us back to square one. Sometimes we have to see what we can take, like what's up for grabs. Like there's something that's up for grabs that's really positive, harmonious, and mitigating for all of this month. Also, with Ten of Pentacles coming in, it deals so much with what we've gained, what we've saved, what we've maintained in our lives, the resources that we have at our disposal. And I think that a lot of us may be given a lot more than we're expected in August. I see bonuses, I see raises, I see more rewards from businesses, having invested in relationships also really paying off. Things just becoming more easy. Again, Ace of Pentacles and Ten of Pentacles, Ace of Cups and Ten of Pentacles together. It's a very rewarding, easy energy. It's not to say it doesn't take a bit of work, because Ten of Pentacles is the culmination of a lot of hard work. So you've had to work hard to get here, but you can coast a bit more when it comes to your resources in life. Not so much when it comes to choices, but when it comes to resources, you can coast a little bit and you can look at what you've gained. Ten of Pentacles can also have implications toward the family and toward ancestral ideals and values. And when it's upright and well placed, like it is in this reading, I tend to think that you can look towards your ancestry and find good lessons from your family, like asking advice from your family, or thinking like what your ancestors would have done in a situation like this is benevolent during this time. It's not always the case, but it does work for most people during this time. I think that maybe even for those of you, who have ancestors who have passed away, like parents especially who have passed away, you will feel their presence strongly during this time. Ace of Pentacles is very mediumistic and very psychic energy too. So some of you could really be connecting with departed loved ones, and maybe even pretty high up in your ancestry too, like 3 or 4 generations up. You might be seeing photos or hearing stories of the way that your family did things, like even 100 or more years ago. And that's something that's karmically cleansing, I feel. That is a good way to work through this Mercury retrograde and Cancer energy, is looking toward the family tree and looking toward family experiences, karmic experiences. It is a time that generally tends to push familial cleansing of karma, okay? The Mercury retrograding, and communicating that with yourself or others, what that looks like and how that is. So yes, just telling stories. And for those of you who have like children, it's good to like tell your children during this time like stories of your ancestors. Or to just have some kind of conversation about that. That's a great energetic karmically cleansing thing for this month, it feels. And finally having enough energy with Ace of Cups to take your business or your career to that top level. I really like that, because Ace of Cups, again, it's all about emotional energy. Also hormonal balance when it's upright, when it's well placed like this. Hydration, alkalizing the body, health implications, like really helping your health, really taking your health to the next level. And through having that health and stamina, you can budget that energy properly through discretion with King of Swords toward achieving Ten of Pentacles. So yeah, it's easy to make a lot of money in August. It's easy to maybe make a lot of new resources, new jobs, new promotions, new bonuses, through the energy that you have. And there might be a lot of things that you have to accomplish, maybe traveling, and like working at the same time for many of you, with this Sagittarian influx of energy as well. Jupiter finishing up its retrograde in Sagittarius, getting towards the last bit of that. August could be busy because there's a lot of planning, it feels like, again, for that shift that we're preparing for in September. There might be a lot of planning to have underway to make everything work well. But really, the energy that you are using here, the way that you are accomplishing, and the things that you enjoy too, because that's another thing that I want to really point out in this reading for this month of August. The enjoyment is coming first. Ace of Cups is first. What emotionally satiates us, what makes us grow emotionally, what gives us emotional energy, that really is the priority here. And that is first and foremost. Without that, King of Swords and Ten of Pentacles aren't probably going to happen. Discretion will struggle. Financial and family security will struggle. without that initial Ace of Cups emotional fulfillment. So we have to have that first. We have to know what creates that, and we have to know ourselves. The Cup suit is all about the relationship with the self, the needs and wants, what they are, what they aren't of the self, and how that translates into the real, tangible world. So that is the primary place of work and manifestation in this month. And we don't want to get ahead of ourselves with that. We don't want to put that Ten of Pentacles or that King of Swords before Ace of Cups. So I want you all to remember that as we're moving through this month. And I want you to think about, what is emotional fulfillment for me? Am I tricking myself as to what that is? Am I, pushing too hard in the career and not giving myself any emotional stamina? Therefore, it's hard to even push myself, but I have to make it happen. That's a big dialogue, I think, for everyone this month, really working on the energy source. We've been dealing with that since 2018. And I'm really happy to see these energies coming in, which I feel to really end that chapter of that being so out of whack, okay? Thank you all so much for being here and checking out this August 2019 channeling. Thank you so much for your likes, comments, and subscribes. I hope you will subscribe to my channel because I will still have new videos every Friday about a lot of really exciting topics. I've got a bunch of fun stuff coming up, so be sure to hit the subscribe button. And if you would like to see the general reading for your sign, for all the individual signs, you can join my Patreon page, which will be linked below. And just having the one subscription allows you to see every single video that I put out early and ad-free. Also, the readings are ad-free on my Patreon page. So that's another fun thing about it. No ads, nothing that interrupts the content. So all of the individual readings are over there. And you can actually click the center of your screen right now if you would like to jump over to Patreon and sign up and be able to see them all. So I hope that you all will do that. The Patreon page is so fun. The community is so fun. It's kind of a nice, safe space away from YouTube that just feels really supportive, benevolent, and positive. A lot of it feels so energetically healing whenever I'm there. And I do live chats every month. There's so much more on Patreon than just the readings. I have my benevolence tier, which is an audio stream, which talks about all of the energies just coming up that I've learned from the general readings, sort of my summary of everything that happened. That I learned spiritually, and I just enjoy connecting with everyone, talking to everyone, and yeah, it's really, really nice, safe, and just positive. So if you would like to check it out, you can click the center of your screen and do so. Anyway, thank you all so much for being here. Comment below how you're doing. I would love to hear. We will be talking soon. Much love. Bye.